Small enterprises are fast becoming part of rural life. Traditionally, people were active for only 4 months during the growing season, but nowadays many are busy all year round. They process and conserve their produce and sell food throughout the year. The youth, men and women, both literate and illiterate, run businesses such as bakeries, butcheries and groceries. Fellow villagers eagerly visit these new village shops as they no longer need to wait for the weekly market to buy essential products.
Young people have benefited a lot because they can easily borrow money to establish businesses. They don't travel to town to search for jobs. So village savings and loan is benefiting the youth. Disabled farmers benefit from village savings and loan as they can send their children to school, take care of their families, and they're also financially independent.
Any business requires startup money, but many villages do not have commercial banks. Banks also require collateral to borrow money, which many people do not have. To run a business, you also need to learn to save any profits made. In this video, we will learn from farmers in Malawi how they manage their village savings and loan association. A group comprises men, women and youth. There is no maximum number of people to join the group. How groups operate is guided by agreed rules detailed in a written constitution. At the beginning of each meeting, the secretary reads the rules.
When we established the group, we wrote a constitution and it is read out every time we meet to remind all members about the rules. Because in the group, there are people who don't know how to read and write. So, it is a rare opportunity to know what is in the constitution. The constitution book is kept in the safety box together with the money, and every time we meet, the secretary reads it out. If a member breaks the rules, then the individual has to pay a fine.
As a group, choose a chairperson, a secretary, 2 cashiers, a treasurer, and executive members. The chairperson is in charge of the meetings. The group meets once in every 2 weeks in the afternoon. Each member has a passbook and carries it to each meeting to record details of the shares and interest.
When choosing leaders, we look at the conduct of an individual. The person should be humble, open-minded, ready to accept to do a job, calm and understanding when people tell them issues. The individual should not be a crook, but God-fearing and somebody who knows the objectives of the group. So these are the qualities of the leaders who can lead our group.
The secretary records all activities of the group. Apart from reading the rules, the secretary also reads out the report of the previous meeting. Thereafter, the secretary calls a register in order to know who is present and who is absent. If an individual is absent, then they have to provide a valid reason for their absence. Appoint a person to keep the money saved by members in a safety box. At the beginning of the meeting, the safety box is opened in front of the members. The box has 3 locks, of which keys are kept by different people. The cashiers are responsible for counting money, collecting money, and disbursing loans. The treasurer keeps the financial records of the group but does not keep the money box.
Security of the house is the first thing we consider when we choose someone to keep the safety box. The person should also be someone who attends meetings regularly. Even to keep the keys, we choose 3 different people who are not related. We scrutinize their behavior to make sure that they are well behaved and can keep secrets, because keeping money is a difficult thing.
And finally, each village savings and loan association has some executive members. These people can be asked for various things such as circulating information in the village, recruiting new members, and visiting members who are absent. As a member, you can buy any number of shares at a fixed price according to the money you want to save that week. Each member should buy at least 1 share once every 2 weeks. The money is kept in the group account. You can start borrowing money from the moment you have bought a minimum amount of shares amounting to 1,000 kwacha. Decide as a group the maximum amount of money any person can borrow. Savings made by members form the basis on which loans can be provided. As a member, you can borrow money to run a business and pay back with a fixed interest rate. The group decides on the interest rate according to how much one wants to borrow. Usually, a loan period is 1 month. Whenever a loan is taken, members are reminded of the interest according to the amount of money they are getting. Members record the details in their personal passbook.
If the person does not have money to repay, then the person has to pay the interest only. But if the person cannot pay back the interest either, then they have to pay a fine of 200 kwacha. That means they have taken a loan again.
At the end of each year, the money is distributed according to how many shares a member has saved.
We divide money so that we can buy agriculture inputs, but also to pay school fees and buy uniforms to send our children to school. The money is divided according to how many shares an individual has. Then, the following year, we start afresh by buying shares.
Most village savings and loan associations in Malawi also have a solidarity fund to assist people during emergencies such as sickness or funeral. Members are free to contribute any amount of money to the special fund each time they meet.
We establish an emergency fund to help us in emergencies, such as meeting funeral costs. We did this because we don't want to be using share funds.
All the activities such as contribution to the special account, buying of shares and servicing of loans happen in a transparent manner, and all members participate in the process. This enhances trust, transparency and accountability among members. Everything is recorded in a book and kept safely. As groups develop, they can link with providers of financial and non-financial services, fully driven by the needs of the community.
In the future, we plan to establish a cooperative and borrow money from commercial banks. We will be using the borrowed money along with our own savings to buy and sell farmers' produce. We will make profits, and in the next 3 years, our group will be well known in the entire district.
So what have we learned? People in rural areas need money to run a viable business. Village savings and loan associations help men, women, and youth to save and borrow money without the need of a bank. Choose leaders of the group such as a chairperson, secretary, treasurer, and executive members. Write an easy-to-understand constitution in the local language. A group needs to have a register, a record book, and every member should have a passbook. Decide as a group how much a share will cost, and also agree the minimum and maximum number of shares a member should have. Every member should buy shares at least once every 2 weeks. From the moment a member has saved a certain amount, he or she can start borrowing money to run any kind of business. Members can borrow at an agreed interest rate and the day at which they will pay back the loan. A separate solidarity fund helps people during emergencies without the need to use money from the group account. By saving money together as a group, we can help small businesses to flourish and help each other out in the village.